kuzungumzia. Mimi nimesimama kuupinga mswada huu, na kitu nitasema hapa, viongozi ama matakwa ya wananchi, muisikize vilio vya wananchi. Kutapandisha kila bidhaa ambayo inahusiana na mafuta. Kwa hivyo hii ni shughuli ambayo haifai, kwa sababu juu kuweka ushuru kwa bidhaa zinazotoka ng'ambo zitamrudia tena mwananchi, kwa sababu bidhaa bado haziwezi kukimu mahitaji yetu mpaka tutachukua tena kutoka kule zile za ng'ambo. Kwanza tutengeneze viwanja vyetu kabla tujaweka ushuru huo. Na kuhusu kwa wapi, wapunguze matumizi katika ofisi za serikali. Wanaweka pesa nyingi kama mgeni amekuja, mpe maji ya kunywe, na kama ni lazima akae paka mchana, mpe kidheri cha kitamaduni, sio kukula makuku na madino kwa gharama za wananchi sehemu zenu. Kupandisha bei ya mikate, mwananchi wa kawaida ni bidhaa ambayo inatumika kwa asubuhi na jioni natumia mikate. Wewe unaenda kuongeza ushuru wa mkate, na mkifanya hivyo tutakunywa chai na mgoka. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, ni kwamba serikali ipunguze ile matumizi ambao punguze safari wanazokwenda nje, waende mahali ikiwa ni muhimu na ni watu wawili pekee yake, hapana kwenda watu 30. Nchi ongeze ushuru na huku mmechukua ndege nzima mnaenda nayo huko nje. Mnakwenda mahoteli mnafanya katika boardroom zenu. Hiyo ndio sio ni matatizo. Kwa hivyo mimi nasema kwamba ushuru, hii mswada wa fedha uangushwe huu, kwa sababu wananchi wameusoma. Msione wameandamana, walisoma, kwa sababu huu mswada uko katika mitandao, wanajua kila kipengee. Mnaongeza matairi, mnaongeza vyombo ambavyo vitapima saratani, mnaongeza za x-ray ambao tayari matibabu ni gharama, na saizi mnaongeza tena. Itakuwa watoto wanajinyonga huko kwa sababu ya depression ambao ziko nazo. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, asante sana.
Mwengi Mutuse.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No, my friends. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to very brief contribution. And my contribution, first of all, is to debunk some erroneous that have been perpetuated in this debate. Mr. Speaker, during this debate, a perception has been contestations around the finance bill have only happened after President William Ruto became president. From the truth. Mr. Speaker, those of us who are students of history know that 3,000 years before Christ, actually in the ancient kingdom of Egypt, taxation was contentious. It has also been said before this House during the government of President Moi, during the government of President Kibaki, during the government of Kenyatta too. The finance bill has been an annual event, and it has never been a smooth sail. Has happened this year, Mr. Speaker. During the many times that the finance bill has been, a lot of the times the voices of the people have never been factored by either the parliament or by the executive. In history, the voices of the people have been heard and have been factored for this House by the Finance Committee. One of the principles of good governance is responsiveness to the wishes of the people. And I want to laud the Finance Committee for being responsive to the people of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, politics is a very interesting game. May be heard in silence, Mr. Speaker. On Tuesday, after we finished our parliamentary group, I had jovial discussion with some of my friends who are on the other side. I had very jovial discussions with some, and they were saying, why have you removed everything that we wanted to rely on in the finance? And I asked them, but you complained about these things, and you have been heard and they have been removed. you know the work of opposition is to oppose. And now that you have pulled the carpet under our feet, we must on. I am saying this so that Kenyans know that the opposition to the finance bill is major. It may not be inspired by the content. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, as a lawyer, I want to say would have been ably articulated, if I may get 1 minute, that the issues that have been complained of have already been overtaken, actually otious. Finally, what is the effect of rejecting the finance bill? The effect is to resort back to the finance bill of
Oyula.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to also contribute to this. Mr. Speaker, I want to start by thanking the Finance Committee. Well done. It took a long time, but they came up with a good report. Notwithstanding the amendments that were made, this was a disaster. This bill is assuming that tax rate should move to a higher rate regime, which is not comfortable at all. Mr. Speaker, we should not take a higher tax regime, which is going to cause stress to our and the individuals. The country needs to move slowly towards a higher tax regime. If the country is moved very fast, Mr. Speaker, we will not balance our budget. Mr. Speaker, we need the revenue is raised, yes, but also the tax is comfortable to the community of this country. Mr. Speaker, through this bill, Mr. Speaker, let us note that the tax rates does not guarantee raising that money. It has happened in 2023, we never made it. The chances are that during this period, we may also not make it. So the Treasury should not as proposal in the tax rate. It is for this reason, Mr. Speaker, we are rejecting this bill, and I would want the Treasury to take it back that is balanced, a bill that will ensure the country is raising revenue, ensure the people of Kenya are not stressed. This is very important. If we raise the tax and we don't get that money at all. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Jen Kagere.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to contribute to this very important. Allow me to start by congratulating the Finance Committee for listening to Kenyans and honoring their request of the taxes that they felt that were punitive on them. Honorable Speaker, I would want to contribute on the introduction of eco-levy on sanitary towels and diapers. Honorable Speaker, of the 47 women representatives. And recently, Honorable Speaker, we had the opportunity Act of 2016, where we ensured that every student from class 5 to class 8 sanitary towels. Honorable Speaker, out of the 47 counties, only 4 local manufacturers were given these sanitary towels. Honorable Speaker, this prominent house has been treated to a lot of drama, full stories of the situation we find ourselves with sanitary towels. Allow me, Honorable Speaker, to state so that we encourage our local production and our local manufacturers, Honorable Speaker. I hear some members low supply because we don't have enough manufacturers. Honorable Speaker, I have had conversations with our manufacturers produce enough sanitary towels for us. Honorable Speaker, a visit to the supermarkets made that are locally manufactured are cheaper than those that are imported. Honorable Speaker, we cannot continue making unscrupulous profits on Kenyans here, yet they pay no excise on their products to pay VAT on their raw materials. Honorable Speaker, I stand to support this bill, and I stand to be charged on sanitary towels and diapers to ensure that we grow our local manufacturers. He told me he used to have 600 employees. He has reduced them to 100 because of. Honorable Speaker, it is our time to stop speaking from both sides of our mouths. If we want to create employment, importers. Anybody who wants to import can come set up the industry locally, and that's where we are going to that they need. And if they lack a place to go and establish their industries, I'm gladly welcoming them to come and set up a manufacturing industry, and we will not charge them any duty as long as they are producing diapers locally within our country. Honorable Speaker, allow me to conclude by saying, I'm speaking as a user of sanitary towels as well as a mother to a toddler. Honorable Speaker, anybody telling us about imported sanitary towels, they range from the price of 175 shillings. Locally produced sanitary towels are ranging between 55 shillings.
Andon Oluoch.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. From the very onset, allow me to oppose this bill. Honorable Speaker, the Finance Bill 2023-5 has redefined our public discourse on things that affect us as a question of how, when, what, and where to tax the people. I want to take this opportunity to thank our Generation Z because they have reminded us under Article 2 and how we, as this legislative house, the executive, arrive at the positions in which we arrive. Honorable Speaker, this generation in their public discourse bill has reminded us that the sovereign power actually belongs to them. All this power, the power including that power to levy taxation, is a delegated power, it is circumscribed, it is limited, and must be on behalf and for the good of the people of this country. This is what the people have told us. I have 2 points to advance, especially because of the time, about tax administration. Honorable Speaker, a misrepresentation has been made administration and in the last 2 finance bill that the more tax you levy, the more yield you will get in tax. Nothing can be further from the truth. There is a big revenue shortfall from the 2023-2024 of tax revenue. Honorable Speaker, the policy underpinning collection in this country, and especially this administration, is wanting. There is very little in terms of what measures that have been put in place to seal the loopholes on corruption, which as opposed to imposing more taxes and taxes on every issue. I also want to speak on the policy disconnect of the better I sit in the Trade Committee, and on the 2 places where you can get the youth in this country, in ICT, digital economy, they have levied taxes. They have the position that we have listened to you Kenyans. We have listened, we have reduced bread, we have reduced this, and we have reduced this tax. The fact of the matter is that this was a long con. Is in the report.
Member for Manyata.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want the Speaker to draw the House and the public in the Constitution of Kenya, Article 10, read together with Article 118, Honorable Speaker, the national values and principles of governance, and Honorable Speaker, public information and participation, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let me say that around the finance bill has actually given and the leaders in various parastatos, including the Treasury, a wake up. Honorable Speaker, from the onset, there is a need to engage Kenyans in the process of formation of the finance bill. The good ideas and the bad ideas in this Speaker shouldn't have gotten to this House without engagement by the public, Honorable Speaker, from the onset and from the formation of this bill. Honorable Speaker, we have made it even more difficult to the chairman, my brother Kimani Kuria. He has had it so rough because he had to explain what the thoughts of this country from a point of his own logic, Honorable Speaker. And I want to call up to change tactic, and also maybe, Honorable Speaker, it is the right time to we can empower and entrench permanently issues to do with public participation, engagement, Honorable Speaker, in our laws. Because, Honorable Speaker, we need laws so that the public can be with us from the onset of formation of forward, so that we don't have good ideas that are going to have a backlash of lack of participation, Honorable Speaker. The putative clauses that this bill, Honorable Speaker, the issues of motor vehicle tax, the cooking oil, should not have gotten to this